All right, hi sixth graders, hi sixth grade families. We're going to talk today about getting organized. So first and foremost, it's really important that we're organized so that we can be successful students. Students who are earning A's and B's in middle school are students who know when their assignments are due and they know where all their papers are at all times. They're not digging through their backpack when it's time to turn something in. They're not flipping through all these papers in a folder. They can go straight to their binder, open it up, click, turn in, click, get right back on task. So I'm going to show you some tips and some tricks that I've learned along the way for getting yourself set up for success. First and foremost, what I'm going to need you to have is some kind of nightly planner. Hopefully, and I believe this is coming this week, I don't know, are the school planners. And this is going to be something that you use for all of your classes where you're writing down exactly what you need to do each night. You can see that this student from last year did a great job staying organized with their highlighter, their pen. They also have some stamps showing that they either completed their work or that they turned it in from their teacher. The second piece or tool of organization is going to be your binder. Now, I've checked in with a lot of the sixth grade teachers, and they would like you to have some kind of binder, three-ring binder, that has clips just like this one, right? Has a little tab here, a little tab on the bottom, and you use that to secure all your papers. We think that, something that's about this size, 1.5, 2 inches, is going to be plenty for you, because you also want to make sure that you can carry your binder in your hand. Most of your teachers after this week are not going to allow you to keep your backpacks in class because they get in the way, people trip over them, and they end up kind of causing a mess. So know that you're going to be carrying your materials. So have something that you can actually keep in your arm that feels comfortable. If you like the ones that have like a zipper on them, that's fine too. Do what works for you. Okay? Inside your binder, the first thing that you should see, or the first thing that maybe you should organize, we'll go from that way, is your tabs. Now, what I like to do is have a tab for each of my academic classes. So you can see if I was a pretend sixth grader, I have ELA with Miss Hunt first period, science with Miss Grecken, then math with Miss Henson, I have AVID with Miss Andrews, and then social studies with Miss Andrews. I didn't create a tab for PE because it's been my experience that they don't really give a lot of papers. If we find out that we need a tab for PE, we can easily make one. It doesn't matter if your tabs are paper, if they're plastic, just as long as you have them, and again, you keep them in the order of your classes. The next thing that you're going to want to have at your fingertips is a nice little stack of binder paper. Again, some kids like to keep it in the front of their binder, other kids like to keep it in the back of their binder. Whatever works for you, just as long as it's there and ready for your use. Okay? Sometimes kids will get that nice brand new stack and they'll put the whole thing in there, and then it takes up like their whole ring of their binder. I don't recommend that. Put like half of it in your binder, put the half in your locker, and then as you need to fill it up, fill it up. Okay? I got a question about this in class. We recommend college ruled just because it's working on getting our handwriting a little bit more neat and smaller, but if wide ruled is what works for you, get wide ruled. It doesn't really matter that much. Unless your teacher tells you that you have to get college ruled, but I don't really care. Cool. So with that, the next thing that you're going to want to have with you is your pencil pouch, okay? Now what I recommend is this kind of pencil pouch right here. It has the metal grommets. It's a pretty thick material. It's not going to rip out of my binder in a couple of days or in a couple of weeks. It's going to withstand the year, and it has a really nice solid zipper on it. You can see that the student has like 1 or 2 pencils, they have a pair of scissors, they have some sticky notes, maybe a glue stick, a couple pens, and like 1 or 2 highlighters. That's really all that you need. Some of you come with these mountains of school supplies, and I honestly think that they become more of a distraction than a tool. So really kind of check yourself. Do you have the supplies that you need, or are you oversupplied? Just be mindful of that because it can become a distraction, or they become toys or things like that. Another great thing that I don't notice that this student has, but maybe they're working on getting it, is like a 12-pack of colored pencils, or maybe some like smaller fine tip markers. Those are all really great to have, especially if you don't have a highlighter or a different colored pen for correcting. Those can serve a double purpose, which is awesome when we want to make notes in a different color to help it jump off the page so our eye catches that a little bit better. The last thing that I think that you're going to need to be really successful as a middle school student is a place where you're keeping your nightly assignments. So you've written them down in your planner, right? And I bet that your teacher has somewhere digitally where they also keep it, whether it's Google Classroom or a class website or something like that, or Remind, the app. But since we're not totally digital here at Marina yet, you're going to need a place where papers can go back and forth so that you're really organized, ready to go. You can turn things in as soon as the period starts and just kind of keep your day rolling in a smooth fashion. So one thing that I've seen that is maybe a fallback, but I don't really think is the best solution, are these 2 pocket folders, especially kind of these like papery thin. I think you can buy them in like a pack of 5 or 6 for, maybe $1 or something. I don't like these because they get really worn really fast. And secondly, I have seen, what I most often see is that these 2 pockets become a catch-all for every paper that ever existed for an entire semester. And in reality, what a folder like this should be used for is like assignments that need to get done tonight, assignments that are ready to be turned in. And everything else that's notes, that's vocabulary lists, whatever it might be, should be in your binder. But what I have found is that students just shove it in here really, really fast, and then it just becomes this big fat pile of papers, and that doesn't help anyone. The second thing that I have seen students try to do, and again, this gets kind of messy and is similar to the folder, is in the front of their binder, there's these pockets. And I think these are great for index cards. I think they're great for bathroom passes. But in terms of nightly assignments, I've seen and had kind of mixed reviews of this as an organizational tool. If you're an Avid student, what we actually recommend is that you tape these shut so you're not even tempted to use them. But again, just like your folder, these tend to become like where all papers that ever existed for any class get shoved, and I don't take the time to actually clip it in and keep myself organized. So what I recommend instead is getting yourself a pack of a few of these sheet protectors and putting one of them at the front of your binder or at the back of your binder for all assignments that need to get turned in for that particular day. So anything that needs to get done goes in here, and as soon as it's done, it goes right back in the same little sleeve. They're pretty cheap. Papers don't usually fall out of them, and you can use them from year to year. If you're in music, this is also a really good option for keeping some of your sheet music really nice and orderly as well. The other thing that I would recommend, and I've seen and I've personally used, is one of these little guys. They're kind of a plastic file folder, I guess, and a plastic envelope, that's the word. And they are, I think you usually get them in a pack of 3, maybe a pack of 5, depending on if you get color or not. And I love these for nightly assignments because papers go in, they get done, they get put away, and it goes right back in your backpack. I don't like the ones that have the 15 expandable files this way because, again, they become this like shoving place where all papers just, the class is done, shove it in, and then who knows. So I recommend this. Again, you got to decide what's going to work for you, but from my experience, those are the best 2 options. The last thing that I would recommend doing to stay organized is having a place, or not only having a place where you keep your school materials at home, but also having a night where you regularly clean out your backpack and clean out any folders, double check that everything is in the right spot where it's supposed to be. For me as a teacher, when I come in Monday morning, I have a routine of how I look at my planner, I figure out what I'm doing, I map out all the copies that I think that I need for the week, and then I take care of that. On Fridays, I do a similar routine where I clean up the classroom, I clean off certain things, and I just set myself up to be successful for the week ahead. And I really recommend that you do the same type of thing. So whether it's Thursday night, Friday night, Sunday night is kind of nice because you're getting your week set, but maybe, figure out what works best for your after-school schedule. So that's kind of it. Those are my few tips of success here in middle school. I think this is going to be a great year, and I will see you guys in class.